When Nintendo fully revealed Mario Kart World back in that Direct in April, the first thing they showed, the first big emphasis they gave, was this. The open world, or, sorry, the interconnected world of Mario Kart World. You can drive virtually anywhere, they said, as they refused to elaborate on what that would actually entail in terms of gameplay. They made us wait for a Mario Kart World Direct, and with each passing day, with each passing hour, with each passing minute, we were getting more and more hyped for this presentation because, oh my god, if this is what they had to show in a general Direct, an introductory trailer? My god, what are they saving for the big Mario Kart World Direct? The day arrived and there was nothing. Nothing but P-switches, coins, and panels. I heard from many online back then the sentiment of, Nintendo often chooses to hide secrets from their players. I echoed the same feeling. After all, this is the company that brought us Tears of the Kingdom without ever mentioning the fact that an entire world was hidden right beneath that game's surface. But when the time came and I first booted up Mario Kart World's brand new world without spoiling myself, without ever watching reviews, after all there weren't any on release, I found myself enjoying my time with it. At first. Then I started questioning, why am I here? Why am I even doing this? Why are the Toads and Yoshis so big? Are all Mario Kart racers permanently under the effects of mini mushrooms? Where the actual fluff is the last panel on Dino Dino Jungle? A question screamed louder and louder in the back of my head like an intrusive thought that permeated through my very being. Hey, you, can you hear me? Hi. So, are people actually gonna be playing this a year from now, or are we like, I don't know, just gonna be kinda done with it? Yeah, that's a good question. So, just how important is the world part of Mario Kart World? And let me be clear here, I'm not going to be talking about exclusively free roam mode. Although granted, that mode will be talked about a lot since arguably it is the biggest feature of the game's new open world. And this video also won't be a review of Mario Kart World the game. I've played it quite a lot so far actually and done all of these things, yes, but personally I believe that with a game like this one we could all use a couple more weeks of experience before definitively grading the thing. This is an analysis of Mario Kart World's decision to integrate open world traversal into its core gameplay loop, as well as a deep dive into the implementation of said world in modes like free roam and Knockout Tour. With that out of the way, we have a lot to talk about with this. Starting with, I don't like free roam mode, okay? I'm sorry, okay? I said it, I don't like it. I think they had a perfectly fine mode, and with just a couple asterisks, they were able to completely obliterate the fun I was having with this. Free roam mode is accessible from the game's main menu. Just press plus on your controller and you instantly resume driving from anywhere in the world. Once inside free roam mode, you're free to roam. Spread throughout the game's admittedly larger than it looks open world, you will find Peach medallions, often placed in locations that are not easily accessible without getting an item like a feather, or they could be hidden in a place you won't expect. Collecting 10 is the minimum requirement for unlocking mirror mode. Anything beyond that and all you get is a pat on the shoulder and a sticker for your troubles. You will also be hunting for panels. Unlike coins, panels can be found only in the game's racetrack areas, which are all neatly integrated into the world and you can drive to and from each one of them at any time. You will find anywhere from a couple to a little bit more than a couple present on each location. Collecting 10 is the minimum requirement for unlocking mirror mode. Anything beyond that and all you get is a pat on the shoulder and a sticker for your troubles. But don't fret, those aren't the main attraction of free roam mode. The most fun unlockable are definitely the P-switches. There's almost 400 of them spread across the entire world, and they contain challenges that range from collecting blue coins or racing through rings again for the 100th time to some genuinely cool and memorable experiences. Collecting 10 is the minimum requirement for unlocking mirror mode. Anything beyond that and all you get is a pat on the shoulder and a sticker for your troubles. If you haven't realized it so far, we are face to face with free roam's first major issue, the lack of persistent rewards. I'm not one of those people that wanted Mario Kart World to match something like Breath of the Wild in terms of scope and raw content present in the world. That's not the game's goal and I understand the limitations. However, I can't be the only one who thinks that placing over 100 Peach medallions, almost 400 P-switches and a ton of panels everywhere without granting your players a single meaningful reward for completing them past the initial mirror mode unlock is straight up baffling. In past Mario Kart games, like Mario Kart 8 for example, you had late game goals that could keep you playing in the form of the Golden Kart Part unlocks. Meaningful, large rewards for going above and beyond and fully exploring the game's content. In Mario Kart World, not only do you not get rewards for 3-starring all cups or something similar, the entire open world exists essentially from the point of acquiring unlockables to get stickers for your kart. Stickers that barely change the look of your vehicle, aren't customizable in any way past having one on or off, and stickers you'll never care for again as soon as you find a favorite you like. That's messed up, but it doesn't end there. Free Roam, a mode touted by Nintendo themselves as a social experience present in a console marketed primarily by Nintendo through its new social features, is heavily gutted the moment you add a player 2. That's right, the one big thing to do in Free Roam mode, finding and beating P-switch challenges, is disabled completely when you add a single friend to the lobby with you. Keep in mind that playing in this fashion doesn't grant you any new experiences either. You're not able to, let's say, organically begin adaptable races in the open world with your friends or any feature of the sorts. After you goof around with your buddies a bit and take some funny pictures, it's again essentially a mode where you're running around collecting stickers, except now with even less to do, and you're basically just begging the lobby host to start the race already. I did find some of these P-switch challenges very fun, don't get me wrong. I did like looking for panels within the racetrack areas, and I did have fun figuring out how to reach some of these harder to find Peach medallions. But, and it's a big but at that, all of these activities are, for the lack of a better term, one and dones. They're not replayable, they're not long-lasting, and they're not all too fun to revisit whatsoever. And adding to me not wanting to revisit these at all is the fact that the map system really sucks. Like, you have no way of tracking acquired Peach medallions or P-switches, making it so that those looking to 100% the mode are almost forced to depend on online guides. Even with guides though, there's no way of reliably checking if you've done a P-switch challenge or not, or you found a Peach medallion or not, apart from checking the individual stickers on the menu, contributing to a dreadful completion experience. So those are my biggest issues with Free Roam. Unfortunately, I believe that it's a mode that most players won't come back to months after they've owned the game and are done with that initial wave of P-switches and panel challenges. There's just not that reason to boot it up, and to be quite honest, I'm disappointed with its implementation in general. It will still have its uses, like practicing shortcuts more effectively, goofing around with friends a bit in between races, and for all the content creators out there, easily gathering footage for videos and thumbnails. But if we are to analyze long-term impact, I'm placing my bets that this will end up as Mario Kart World's forgotten, sidelined game mode. Speaking of forgotten sideline things though, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you're enjoying the video. It helps out a ton and you won't miss whenever I upload something new. Thank you! Okay, enough Free Roam ranting. That mode alone doesn't represent the full extent of this new format. We also need to discuss how it has made its way into Mario Kart's core gameplay loop. Is the inclusion of interconnected racing a good thing for Mario Kart's future? Yes, I believe that it is. I know it may be slightly controversial to say. I feel like ever since we got our hands on Mario Kart World, the #1 point of contention in community has been the open world. I've seen and heard many valid criticisms and defenses of the formula. We've been through quite a few critiques already right here. It is of utmost importance for us, however, to place ourselves in the shoes of the designers behind Mario Kart as a series. After Mario Kart 8, there was nowhere left to go with the traditional Mario Kart formula. Virtually every avenue had been explored. A game with almost 100 tracks, a matured and stable meta, and the most polished version of the original Mario Kart vision. When proposing Mario Kart World, Nintendo wasn't looking to completely upend Mario Kart as a series. This isn't the Breath of the Wild moment of Mario Kart. It's not a 180 turn on everything that made Mario Kart Mario Kart. It's more like a gradual turn away from the path followed previously, but still headed the same general direction. Mario Kart World's Grand Prix racing combines an initial 3-lap track with its interconnected traversal mechanics to create what is a really unique way to play Mario Kart. If it's an outright better or worse way, I think it's going to come down to personal preference, but what I can say is that it feels more like a step sideways in many ways than anything else. What we lose in track complexity, we can mostly make up for with new opportunities for tricking and shortcuts. Item balancing, the game's meta, are all currently developing at extraordinary speeds and won't be settled for months to come, maybe longer. Placing Mario Kart World's tracks in the context of an interconnected world has allowed these developers to focus in on aspects of Mario Kart that before were never given the time to shine. What once were PNGs and JPEGs are now fully modeled entities with collisions and shadow maps. Tracks that had a set time of day can now be experienced in a variety of different lighting settings and directions. The world in which Mario Kart takes place in and the tracks that reside within have never felt more alive, more lived in and believable. It truly makes what once felt like a sequence of menus into a game that does take place in a physical location. On top of that, this open world approach provides Mario Kart World with a unique opportunity that, if taken by Nintendo, could mean this game could easily last the entire generation ahead. The sheer amount of customizability and added content that this method allows for. Adding post-release DLC, something that has become a staple of many Nintendo franchises, Mario Kart included, has more potential than ever before here on Mario Kart World, as the developers could physically extend not only the game's track count, but the world itself, with more P-switches, panels, and medallions, and more paths into these new racetracks that aren't restricted to talking just amongst themselves, like in prior games, but that instead integrate naturally into the already existing terrain. Mario Kart World has the chance to become the definitive Mario Kart experience if it cannot be described as such already, and I didn't even mention its brand new addition, Knockout Tour. The complete removal of loading screens in between racetracks makes for a battle of truly epic proportions as you're fighting for your life with every new checkpoint reached, seeing the map change around you as you drive from the grassy hill landscape to the peaks of Bowser's lava-filled castle. Knockout Tour has been my favorite mode to play in Mario Kart World. Its gameplay loop is addicting and long-lasting. I already feel like this is a new mainstay of the series that I could never live without ever again, and it is only possible because of the game's open structure. If not for the open world setting, a mode like this could simply not exist in the form that it does. So will Mario Kart World's world stand the test of time? Yeah, I think it will, really. It is great. From the little moments with friends in between matches to the high-intensity rounds of Knockout Tour, Mario Kart's new open world direction truly shines when it's integrated faithfully into the game's core mechanics. As things stand now, free roam by itself as a mode is rather disappointing, and there's much more that could have been done to spruce up the feature in that sense. But I don't believe it was the developers' vision to have Mario Kart rival something like Forza Horizon. I think they were at fault for marketing the game as such in the pre-release period, and for the whole Mario Kart World Direct scandal, and for failing to explain what the addition would really mean for the game in the long term. But after having experienced it for myself, I can firmly say that yes, this was the right choice for Mario Kart's future. It simply opens many more doors than the ones that it closes, and I think that the community's biggest problems with the feature could be solved by software patches. We shouldn't hold our breath out for those, of course, but it does show the extent of the discontent with this feature. It doesn't come down to its existence at its very core, and more so a couple terrible choices that Nintendo made along the way with its inclusion. Given enough time for players to fully settle into this new interconnected racing reality, I have reason to think that it will end up just as fun and engaging to play long term as the games that came before it. And while it may not replace the old style of Mario Kart racing, and I do hope that Nintendo is able to realize that and provide people the ability to, for example, pick 3-lap tracks more consistently on online versus mode, I like driving from track to track, tricking along every opportunity and cutting massive stretches of road with my golden mushrooms. I don't think this direction is all bad for the franchise, and we might just need to see how the game develops as the next months go by. But what do you think of Mario Kart's new open world? Have you been enjoying your time with this brand new game? Let me know in the comments, and remember to subscribe, leave a like, and hit that little bell to get more videos like this one. A huge thanks to these channel patrons for helping out making these videos a reality. If you'd like to join them, the link is in the description. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye!